Hi, everybody. I wanted to show you something that I have learned recently, and that's how to make a self grading rubric using Google Sheets. It's really easy to do, and I want to give you a step by step process. First thing you need to do is choose the project that you're going to do. We are currently working on Because of Winn Dixie. And in this project that I have, they're working on several slides at the same time. So I'm going to be putting these several slides on the rubric with details. So let's get started. First thing I need to do is open up Google Sheets. I'm going to go ahead and title this Google Sheets what this rubric is specifically for. So this is for chapters 5 and 6. It'll also be for definitions and character studies, and it'll also have part in there a letter that Opal is writing to her mother. So I'm going to title this chapters 5 and 6. It's also for definitions, character traits, letter to mom. Now on here, I want to put name. What that'll allow me to do is type in the student's name. Down the bottom, let me hide this. Down the bottom, I can also put the number for the students down here, so I can have up to 20, so I can have a rubric right here on my screen for each student, or I can use the same rubric over and over, just change the name. I want to put in the date, and I want to show you a quick trick about date. I want to have today's date always shown in this area. So I'm going to put equal today, open parentheses, close parentheses, and when I hit enter, it'll stick today's date there. If I open it up tomorrow, it'll change it to the 29th. So it's going to show your current date here. If you don't want the date to change, you can go ahead and just physically type in the date, but I put this on all my rubrics so that way I don't forget this part. Next thing I want to do is I am going to title this here, so that way this definition will show here, but I want to merge these cells. Format. There it goes. Merge cells, merge horizontally. I like to have the titles in the center. I'm going to go up here, double click that to turn it all blue. Go down here, paste it. If you don't like the size of that, go ahead and increase your font to where you're happy with. You really don't want to go past column F, because that seems to be the best to print on a screen. I mean, not a screen, but on a piece of paper when you print out the rubrics to send home in your blue folders. Now, you can buy edible rubrics off of Teacher Pay Teacher if you like those, and copy those columns into here, or you can create your own different types of scoring guide here. So I'm just going to put 4, 3, 2, 1, because most of my rubrics go to 4. You can do more, but remember, if you go past the F, then you're going to have trouble printing it on one page unless you do a landscape one, and then you can get more columns, but it won't be able to go as long. So you can go wider, but you won't be able to go longer. So think about that when you're switching those columns. And I'll also show you how to set up some margins that are pretty easy to do too. On this side, I'm going here. I want to label question 1, what does Winn-Dixie do uh, when he's left? What does Winn-Dixie do when he's left alone? Uh, question 1, what does he do? I'm breaking the question down as this is basically just to remind me what the question is so I don't have to keep going back to the project. So notice how it runs over. I want that to be wrapped. So go to Format. I'm sorry, I'm trying to look at the screens and talk at the same time. Go to Wrapping, go to Wrap, and I'll put it into one cell. Again, if you don't like the sizes, you can go ahead and change the sizes for all of those. Now here's how I want to decide my 4, 3, 2, or 1. If I look here, I want this to be a complete sentence. I want to have like, maybe they can have like one error, and I usually do one error for score 4 because we all have problems with typing every now and then. These are kids, they're going to have some trouble with typing, so I'll do a 1 there. You can adjust yours to however you want. So I'll put complete sentences, no more than one mistake. Again, that's overflow. So let's do this. Format, wrapping, wrap. Now all of those will be wrapped. I also like to have them centered. I want format, alignment, center, format, alignment. Now my question is centered. This is centered. These should be centered as I type. Scoring for 3 will be complete sentences with 2 or more mistakes. For 2, incomplete sentences. A box. Incomplete sentences. Multiple mistakes. This one did not attempt. Did not proofread. So for just typing in random letters, they're trying to phonetically spell, and you can't even read what they have. I put this in here so that way they know that they've got to do some kind of proofreading. They've got to help me out some. Now over here, do my score, and here is where I really like what Google Sheets allow you to do. If I right click, I am going to get this drop down menu. I'm going to click that. Let me move this picture here. Over here, you're given options. So here's where I want to put the value for my rubric. So I'm going to put a 4. Now, I don't know about you, but there's been times when I've read things that kids have done and it hasn't exactly hit a 4, a 3, a 2, or a 1. Sometimes it might be a 2.5. It might be a 3.5. I can put those values here. So here I'm going to put 3.5. Add another item. Google Sheets is now recognizing that I'm not putting in text, but I'm putting in values. 3, 2.5, 2, 1.5, 1. Something else that I really like about Google Sheets, I can assign a color to these numbers. 4 is good. 3.5 is good. 3, we're getting down into the be careful. Be careful. And then from 2 and down, here's where I'm going to start getting my kids to watch. Because here is where they're going to start. If they hit this a lot, they're going to start losing a lot of points. Then I'm going to click done. Now watch what happens. See the drop down arrow here? Watch what happens when I put this here. I get all of those values, and all I have to do is click on them, and they'll show up in this box. Now, that's how you input your question, your totals. Now, we can also center these so they look good, increase their value. So now I have my question, I've got my rating, I've got how much each point's worth, I've got the title of what I'm grading. Let me show you a completed rubric that I've just done. This is for chapters 3 and 4 for my Winn-Dixie project. And as you can see, this one only has 3 possible options. So my highest number is 3. So I don't have anything for 4, so the most they could get for this is a 3. If I scroll down here, I've got my slide numbers. I've got the questions that that I want them to answer. And on this one, it's really a 4, 3, 2, or 1. They either do it or they don't. They either have the information or they don't. That's how come you don't see the other variables in there. Same thing with definitions. They either have the definitions, they tried it and they didn't quite get it. What I have mine do is try to put the definitions into their own words, so that way they'll memorize it a little bit easier or learn it a little bit quicker. I leave a spot for comments, but watch down here is what I want to show you, the graded portion. I'm trying to point to it, it's not showing it. So let me show you the graded portion. So how this will work. If they made a 3, something else I've already done, when I did the formula, I figured out maximum amount of total points. Let me show you here. I figured out maximum amount of total points they have, which is 57. And I added the cells F5 through F24. That gave me the total points they get. I did the division, and that gives me the grade down here. So it will automatically do the grading for you once you put this in. And once you stick this formula in and you copy and paste the cell, it'll do a ton of it for you. You can do a ton of reading projects really easy, and all you got to do is hit print afterwards. But let me show you how this works. If I go ahead and put in fake answers for it, maybe they got a 3 on this one. This one, they only got a 1.5. 1.5. Just make sure you watch, because sometimes it'll flip. Notice it goes from highest to lowest. Sometimes it'll go from lowest to highest. So just make sure you're getting the one that you want. Now on this one, I can format. I know that this will be a 75. I can format this where the numbers will show up as a percent. I just need to remember, there it is, percent. And now I can look and say, oh, that's going to round up to a 75. So it's pretty easy. Now let's talk about printing these things, because that's pretty simple too. You want to click File, click Print. If you take and look over here and do custom margins, and you click on here, you can move these margins to where you want. You don't want it to go all the way to the edge because it'll cut off some of your printing. So you want to leave a small amount of margin all the way around, and you can fit a lot on that sheet. So when I print it, I will see all of this information, and the kids will be able to see where I picked at. They can go back through and see if it's a 1.5, then they'll know, oh, they're somewhere between here and here. They did a little bit better than 1, but not quite a 2 to get it there. But that's how I create a self-graded rubric, input the data, and then print it out to give to the kids. Once you do one, you can copy and paste formulas from other rubrics onto this one. A lot of what you see over on this side, I was able to copy and paste from another rubric that I'd created, and had just placed things over. Same thing with the formulas onto the side. I hope that helps you, and I hope that speeds up your grading. If you need any help, or if you want some more information, I'll be glad to help you.